So, it's already come up in here about the challenge for people to really be in touch with what they want. And it only stands to reason that if you have a hard time being in touch with what you want, you have a hard time asking for what you want. And if you have a hard time asking for what you want, you have a hard time getting what you want. So it's kind of a tragic state of affairs, and one which is one of my major goals in here to turn around and to undo, is this difficulty being in touch with what you want and being able and willing to ask for it. So, as background, the question is, how is it that we have such a hard time really being in touch with what we want? That question is rhetorical, meaning I will now answer it. My theory about this is that little kids are just bundles of wanting. They're just like, I want. There's like no hesitation, no difficulty being in touch with what they want, stream of consciousness wanting. And at least for a little while, no barrier to letting it be known what they want. Unfortunately, little kids, each of us, had the experience to varying degrees of not only hearing no, no, no many, many times, but usually of also feeling somewhat shamed or humiliated or intimidated for having wanted what we wanted in the first place, which sucked. It was a very painful experience. And that whole experience is compounded by the fact that you were a very little person, completely dependent on great big people, which is humiliating in and of itself. There's a part of you that wants to feel independent, or wants to feel like self-sufficient, and you know you aren't. And the big people who have all the power, who have everything you need to survive, to feel good about yourself, blah, 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 you are at their whim, and they may reject what you want without regret and with some amount of ridicule or shame or something. So it became a painful experience to be too in touch with what we wanted, and we started having an incentive to want less and less. And there even sort of became this unconscious idea that whoever wants least from the relationship wins. If you want from me more than I want from you, I win. I have more power, yay for me, but not yay for you. Because once you translate that into the rest of your life, and you unconsciously develop this policy of I won't want much from you and I won't ask much from you, who loses? I do. I don't even have a chance at having most of what I want because I've taken it off the table. According to that old story, if I ask you for something that I want and you say no, I've just lost face. That makes me look bad. But I'm proposing a new story, which is that's not true at all. Yay for me, I asked for something I wanted, whether you said yes or no. I say he or she wins who asks the most. You increase the chances of your yeses, you know. And if you become good at asking and good at hearing yes or no, well then you're a more resilient person. You're like, no? Oh, gee, all right, I'm disappointed, but thanks. And you're off to the next thing. Yay for you. You now have more personal strength, more security in yourself, that you're not living in fear of the experience of somebody saying no to you for something that you want, or thinking that that makes you wrong or bad in some way. Does that make sense? And so to begin the process of turning it around, you begin what I think of as like the little meditation of, what do I really want? What do I really want? What do I really want? What do I really want from other people? Because in my humble opinion, we go around constantly wanting stuff from other people. We're just not consciously aware of it most of the time. But people are like subtly trying to manipulate each other all of the time. Will you like me? Do I belong? Am I charming? How's this? How's this? Will you like me more if I do that? How about this? Will you give me some praise now? You know, we're like trying to get what we want out of each other without even being conscious of it most of the time. And the other side of that is that we go around settling for not very much. We'll just like, people will get together, they'll fall into their just kind of standard social behavior because it's not too dangerous, nobody has to be disappointed or look bad, but it's kind of, you know, We sat around, we drank some wine, we talked about the kind of shit we always talk about, then we said goodbye. It's like, It's like, set a pretty low bar there for what's possible. Whereas if a bunch of people get together and they say, what do we really want this evening? What could we create? What if I most had exactly what I wanted from you tonight, what would that look like? And being out there on the edge of you know, dreaming that up and asking for it and negotiating, and it's awesome how much richer any interaction can be. You know, in lots of workshops and stuff, I set it up so that, okay, now you people are going to spend time together and you're going to check in with what do you really, really want from each other. And before long, you know, you got a room full of people sitting around, and some people are getting back rubs and other people are crying as they're talking about this something or other. Somebody else is getting some tax advice, and, you know, whatever. Stuff is happening. It's rich. It's an exchange. I like to say that relationships with a higher quotient of giving and receiving, conscious giving and receiving, are much richer. And that if you can live a life of more giving and receiving, it's great. It's so much more exciting. It's so much more fulfilling, because it feels really good to give as well as to receive and get what you want. It feels really good to know, I want to do something nice for you right now. What can I do? And they tell you, and you know you please them. Well, that feels good. And being explicit about it feels good. Now, of course, like I said, the hitch is that when I ask somebody, what can I do for you right now? That because of that fear we talked about, they're like, I'm fine. I don't know what you mean, you know? I don't need anything. Yes, but what could